Hi, my name's Margaret. The Cradle Card Readings. Now, I'm going to talk about being the protection related to being psychic and hypersensitive. Now, as you all probably know by now, I pick up people's emotions and feelings and all that, yeah. And what I realised at the start, when I started, realised I was psychic, watching me, I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know what worked for me. So this is why I'm doing it. I did pick up some things related to Addison Tyrrell, what works for them. It doesn't work for me, but it does for some people. So I thought I'd do this for that reason. Now, I am going to give you some examples with it too. Like, perfect example. And the other thing with this, I do highly recommend just try things. It might work for you, may not work for you. You might find everything works better for you anyway. Just go with what works for you. I would highly recommend you try anything 5 to 10 times before you say no to it, if you want to try it. But if you don't want to try it, it's fine too. But try it before you say no to it, yeah? Because it might work for you, yeah? It might work. You never know. So I'm going to do your basic things that we all know. You might want to learn, do it now. Most of them don't work for me. But then I'm going to talk about things that worked for me and my own things that I do, yeah? So the first one is crowds. I'm talking about crowds because some crowds I can actually go to. I can go to a full game. Yes, it's hypersensitive, but I'm feeling the excitement. Like, I'm feeling, is my team going to win? Is my team not going to win? I'm happy with that. I'm okay with that. But if you put me in a hospital, no, it's not okay. I worked there for about 1 year and 10 months as a cleaner. The cleaner's fine. I can do cleaning in a day. But I just felt the people's emotions, the patients, the people came to see the patients, the doctors, the nurses. I felt the whole lot. And that's why I can't go into a hospital. So if someone had a broken leg, I'm telling you, I feel it. Actually, I remember one day I threatened that someone was going to have a heart attack because it's got this pain here. So I'm really not good at hospitals. Yeah, so, but I'm good at things like discos and fully games, things like that. I'm fine. So choose the crowds that you don't go to crowds that you're not good at, yeah? So yeah, okay, perfect example. Every Friday, this wasn't a pub, but every Friday at my old job, we had 2 pubs near the job, and every Friday, I got a headache. I did not know why I got a headache, but I got a headache. So we realised I just have to be firm and just go to it, and I did. So that worked for me, yeah. So just choose your crowds, yeah. What works for you and what doesn't work for you. So the other thing is crystals. There's certain crystals out there will work for you. Certain ones won't work for you. Like, don't buy yellow crystals or purple crystals because they're just hypersensitive. Not 9 out of 10 it does. Maybe 1 or 2 won't, but most of them do hypersensitive. So don't wear them around you, but you get clear crystals, red crystals, green, pink. They seem to work really well to keep you grounded. There is a black crystal out there, but you probably have to go to a new age shop or somewhere that knows about sensitive people with this black crystal. It works really well, but I don't know the name of it, sorry. Yeah. And that's the same with oils. Fantasy, lavender, and sage seems to work really well with grounding you. Like, lavender is perfect simple. Lavender doesn't work for me, it's hyper my sensitive, but it might work for you guys. Now, there is an oil out there, and this is a fantastic company. I won't knock them, but this oil here, if you are hypersensitive, don't use this, because that will hyper your senses. I actually got this for free. I got it about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. I only used it once for that same reason. With hypersensitive, I want to use it, and it smells really nice, but I can't wear it out because I know it's going to hypersensitive. So that's another thing. Orange and lemon together, really good for grounding too. So there are some oils out there, very good. I heard yoga is good too. Go to yoga, it's just somehow just taking your mind away from something with yoga seems to work. That works for you. Meditation works too well for you. You just have some guided meditation or just plain music seems to work. Sometimes I put on classical music for that first 5 minutes, so it seems to work. The other thing is bubbles. I heard bubbles are good. Like pretend there's a bubble around you, and don't let that person into that bubble. Their emotion come into the bubble. It can be a ball or an egg shape. It depends on how you look at it. And I've been told you pretend there's a cord coming from you. If you know the person, from you to that person, cut that cord off. Pretend you've got a pair of scissors and cut that cord off. That's another thing. The other thing is that pretend there's a bucket. You have a bucket and you put all the person's crap in that bucket. That seems to work, I've been told. So work with that. Colour meant to work well too. Colour's meant to be quite a emotional, and it kind of makes sense because you have your oils and your chakras, and that seems to work with that. So that your common stuff, it might work for you, yeah. It might not, but I would try it. You never know. Yeah, if you're watching this and you think, yeah, I'm 100% that nothing works for me, try these things, it might work, yeah. The other thing is, I'm going to give you some things that work for me, because some of this stuff I just told you doesn't work for me. I have tried them. Like I do meditation for half an hour, then I'll go out and it comes back. So it doesn't work for me. But you never know, it might work for you, yeah? So the next lot is about what works for me, yeah? Now, I find walking is a really good thing. I do love walking in nature, but it doesn't have to be nature. It can just be going to your job or something, yeah? The perfect example is, say that you're at a job and you're feeling emotions around you. Someone might not, like it might be a childcare, say it's childcare, and the child might not get what they want, and you feel that child's emotion, but you're not quite sure what it is, but you feel quite emotion. So you go for a walk, and that emotion goes away. So you can hope in, oh, this is not me, but then you come back and you're feeling it again. So you know it's someone at that child care centre. So that helps. So it might not get rid of it. It doesn't get rid of it for me, but you can home pin it's not you, yeah? The other thing is, if you can home pin it, perfect example, the day that Robert Williams died, met suicide, the actor, when he met suicide that day, I had that emotion all day. And I couldn't home pin it. I knew it was someone had depression, but I couldn't home pin it, yeah? And so I had this emotion with me all day. I picked up a piece of paper and had him saying he died. And that when it went, because I could home pin it, was Robert Williams. So that seems to work for me. If I can home pin it on where it's coming from, it seems to work. And it's pretty much the first 30 seconds. Once I know it's that person, it works. But I will highly recommend you, if you're feeling it and you want to know where it comes from, don't go up to people and ask them. It's a bit, yeah. I want to say this word, it's not quite this word, rude, because let's say you're in a hospital and you are a cleaner, it's preaching the person's rights. So I will highly recommend you, if you can't home pin it, I mean, if it's your family, you can ask your family, but if it's someone out in the street or at your job, don't go up to that person, because that person might get embarrassed, the person might not want to talk about it. Yes, there's a number of reasons why people don't want to share it. They might end up be hiding it really well, and that's the reason why they're hiding it, they don't want to share it. So if you can home pin it, yes, but if you don't home pin it, don't go around and ask people, yeah? So if you home pin it, it works for you, perfect, yeah? But at the same time, if you know it's not you and you know it's someone else, you're kind of halfway there because you know it's not you, yeah? So that works really well. The other thing was, what I do with meditation, I don't actually, when I'm hypersensitive on that day and I'm picking up people's emotion, I don't actually put on music. I don't put on guided meditation. What I do, I actually just lay there. Just lay, try not to think about anything. And when I'm really realise nothing's coming in and out with my brain, as they say, I turn and try and focus on myself. So I'm home pinning on myself and seeing what I look like, how I feel at that time. So what happens when I come out of that meditation, I might pick up other people's emotion, but I can home pin back on myself. Yeah, so that seems to work really, really well for me. The other thing is, say, if you at a job, I think I said it's kind of like this, but if you're at a job and, well, say that you're in the morning and you get up and you know you're quite happy and laughing, you know it, yeah, and then you go to a job and you can say, you're home pinning, something's going on, don't know about it, maybe it's me, maybe it's not. What you do, when you got time, go for a walk and see if you're picking that up again. Are you still feeling that again? If you're not, you know it's not you, and make a double sure of it. You come back to that same place and you're feeling it again, you know exactly not you, it's someone else. That seems to work too. The other thing is, in the morning, about half an hour before you do anything, think about how you feel that day, that morning. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you annoyed at someone? And try and think about that for the rest of the day. So if you go into a place and you go, oh, George Clooney's angry with Margaret, yeah, let's use that. And I know I'm feeling the anger, but I don't know it's George, yeah. I can home ping it back to me and say, oh, how did I feel before I got here? That seems to work too. Like I said, you might not be able to home pin it on George, but you know it's not you. Maybe you can home pin it on George, so you're kind of thinking, right, it's me now, but that's George's feeling right now. So that seems to work too. So that works. You can go out in the nature, it's nice. Like behind me, there's a nature park and there's a river. I go there sometimes, and that seems to work too, because you're hearing that water. And then when you hear that water too, sometimes you can home pin back on yourself because it's nature. So that seems to work. As you can see, a lot of your crystals and oils and the bubbles and all that doesn't seem to work for me. I have to home pin it on people, or just do a bit of meditation just on myself, and that seems to work. So I would highly recommend to you, when you look at this, think about what works for you, what doesn't. And the other thing that works for me too, doing something relaxing, so I can't say it, but my purpose simple is doing artwork. I love artwork. I just do artwork, and that seems to relax me. That seems to work too, to a point where I can home pin how I felt before this happened, yeah. So that seems to work, so yeah. So one I highly recommend to you, look at these things, see what works for you, doesn't work. The whole lot might not work for you, who knows. But try and home pin what works for you. Like I said, a lot of this might not work for you. some of it might, this home pin works for you, and do that. I would highly recommend, if you look at one of these things and think, oh, that might work for me, try it in between 4 to 10 times, and it works for you, it will work for you in that time. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I wouldn't keep on going. I would highly recommend just do it for about 10 times, and if it doesn't work for you, just leave it. Because I'm telling you right now, not everything works for everyone. Yeah, like perfect example, the pink crystals, touch the ground you, it does it with me. Lavender touch the ground you, it gives me hypersensitive again, but it touch the ground, people. So go for what works for you, yeah. And I hope this is useful. It's about being useful. It's not about being right or wrong. It's just about being what's useful for you. And if you have any good examples, pass it on. You never know. And other people might learn from it. Yeah, and that's what this is about, learning from other people. So yeah, I hope this is useful. And I'll see you later. Bye.